Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're looking at something that's really at the heart of any good government, a community's official guide for ethical leadership. Specifically, we're going to break down the code of conduct and ethics from the Hannahville Indian community and really see how they build and, more importantly, maintain trust in their leaders.
It's a question every single community, every society has to wrestle with, right? How do you actually make sure the people in charge are working for everyone and not just for themselves? It's a huge challenge. And this document we're about to look at gives us one community's really powerful answer.
So, where do you start? Well, for the Hannahville Indian community, the answer begins with building a super clear, solid foundation of principles. See, this isn't about looking for loopholes or gray areas. It's about creating a culture of integrity right from the get-go. And they don't waste any time. The document gets right to the point with this single sentence from its purpose section. This right here, this is the philosophical core of the whole thing. It's like the mission statement for every single official. Every decision, every action, it has to be measured against this standard. And what that all boils down to is this powerful idea. Public service is a public trust. The second someone steps into a leadership role, their own personal interests have to take a back seat. It's that simple. The community's well-being becomes priority number one, always. And that idea, that's the absolute bedrock of this entire code. Okay, so a guiding principle is fantastic, right? But for it to actually work, you need things to be crystal clear. That's why the next part of the code is all about defining key terms. Because ambiguity, that's the enemy of accountability. If you're going to enforce rules, everyone has to be on the same page about what the words actually mean. And first up is a big one, conflict of interest. The code's definition is so simple, but so powerful. It's basically any action an official takes that clashes with their main job, which is to act in the best interest of the community. It's just a bright, clear line in the sand. You just don't cross it. But what's really interesting is that the code doesn't just stop at what you do in the office. It goes further, defining this really serious category of personal misconduct called crimes of moral turpitude. Now, this sets an incredibly high bar for character. It's basically saying that leadership isn't just a 9-to-5 job. It's a reflection of your entire moral compass. And wow, when you look at the specific examples they list, it really tells you something. We're talking about fraud, embezzlement, bribery, assault. I mean, the list goes on. It makes it perfectly clear that the expectation for leaders is that they are people of high character, both on and off the clock. If you're convicted of any of these, it's an automatic violation of the ethics code. No question. All right, so we've got the big picture philosophy, and we've got the key definitions. So what does this all mean for day-to-day behavior? Well, this is where the code gets super practical, laying out a really clear, specific set of rules for conduct. And they make it incredibly easy to understand, laying it all out with a simple set of do's and don'ts. So on the do side, you have these positive duties, right? Like act with the highest standard of care for tribal funds, protect all tribal property, always be honest and truthful. Then on the don't side, you've got the absolute no-goes. Don't use your position for personal financial gain, don't leak confidential info, and don't accept big gifts from, say, vendors. It's basically a practical, everyday playbook for being an ethical leader. Now, having rules like these is absolutely essential. But let's be real, they're only as strong as the system that enforces them, right? So what happens if someone actually breaks these rules? This is where the rubber meets the road. Let's walk through the really clear process the code sets up to make sure there's real accountability. The process they've designed is super clear and very deliberate. It all kicks off with a formal, signed, written complaint. So no rumors, no hearsay. From there, a special ethics board takes over and investigates. They look at the evidence, and then they vote. And only if they find that there's enough evidence does it get bumped up to the tribal council for a full, formal hearing. See how that structure works? It balances the need to report wrongdoing with protecting people from baseless claims. And this is a really important point. Just because a complaint is filed doesn't mean it automatically goes to a full-blown trial. That ethics board acts as a crucial filter. It actually takes 4 affirmative votes from the board to agree that, yep, a violation likely happened here. This makes sure that only the most serious, evidence-based complaints move on to that next stage. So, let's say a case does make it to the tribal council. What happens then? Well, there are a few possible outcomes. Based on all the evidence presented at the hearing, the council can decide to dismiss the complaint entirely, or they could issue a formal reprimand.
And in the most serious cases, they have the power to actually dismiss the member from their position. So you see, the consequences are very real, and they're scaled to match how serious the violation was. And whatever the council decides, well, that's it. That's the end of the road. The code is very explicit about this. Once the tribal council makes its determination, the matter is considered final and closed. Period. This gives the whole process real teeth and authority, and it ensures there's a definitive end, allowing the community to heal and move forward. So, when you put it all together, the Hannahville Indian Communities Code gives us this really powerful, structured blueprint for building and defending trust in public service. And it leaves us with a great question to think about, not just for them, but for all of us. What are the cornerstones of trust in your community? Maybe in your workplace or in any organization you're a part of? What are the rules, written or unwritten, that really hold your leaders accountable?